our planet is turning towards the sun right now where we're sitting. So we have the sunrise. And as you drop your breath down into your pelvis, start to sense like how fluid or how unctuous, how elastic you might feel this morning, how supple, or the absence of that. Maybe you feel like the Tin Man when you wake up in the morning. So begin to draw the breath now into the Ujjayi sound. So you'll hear that with your inner ear. When you listen for the Ujjayi sound with the inner ear, listen also for the silence, almost like you're listening to water touching the shore and moving away from the shore. And there is a change of the sound, a change of the rhythm. That which is coming in, that which is going out. And if you can imagine in this process, there is this enormous globe, this planet that we're sitting on, and the oceans on this planet are part of how it's habitable for us, how the planet is a place where we can live, where our species can be here. And those oceans have a rhythm. So listen for the rhythm of your breath in sort of solidarity with and respect for the ocean, the lungs of the planet. And you can join your hands together at your heart. We'll be chanting Asatoma Satgamaya. So let's begin. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, please. Open your eyes and reach for your yoga strap. Okay, so with the second chakra, we're really looking at the water element. The first chakra is the earth element. That's why I was praising the mud that we have here in Portland right now. Let's make this shoulder width, please. And so in the water element, rivers have riverbanks comprised of earth. So the base chakra, the root, Muladhara, is really about the yamas, the ethical precepts that we need to live together. And those are also like boundaries. They give us a container for how we live and cohabitate and communicate with each other and with the resources of the planet. The second chakra then is the Niyamas. How are we going to be responsible to ourselves in this community? So first is Yamas, second is Niyamas. And this includes like your relationship to how you're practicing, how you are with yourself. Okay, so let's take this yoga strap, please put it around your wrists. Point your palms to face towards each other, and then inhale, rise up overhead. And notice when the arms go up that generally speaking, there's going to be a little more access to the breath going down into the belly and the pelvis. And see if you can make a circle with the belly. So there is a kind of fluidity. You're also going to notice that when the arms are up overhead, as if the two arms, please change directions, as if the two arms are like extensions of the riverbanks starting at the sitting bones and going upwards, that the river change directions, the movement of the water element in the body has a sort of outer container. Your sitting bones, the ilium bones, the structure of the torso, change directions please, and the structure of the arms. With the arms overhead, this action is going to require you to have a little bit more tone in the belly also. Please change directions one more time. And then let this circle become smaller until you're sitting in the center of the pelvic floor. Inhale, press up. And then pull the elbows down behind you. You can hold the strap. And reach up. Look up. And then float the arms forward and down. Release the strap. Rest your hands out over your knees and just spend a few moments noticing that your hands will be the recipients of the circulation that goes down the arms now. May there be no obstacles to your practice, but may your riverbanks be clear. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Okay, now I'd like you to make a much bigger loop. So this loop, you're going to test drive it. You have to experiment with it. When you put your hands in here and you take the loop overhead, you're able to support your wrists. And I want you to be able to push out against the strap with the wrists and turn your palms face up. So I already have a practice this morning before I meet up with you guys, and that's how I know the distance for my strap, because I've already been here. So when you're pressing out against the strap, against the loop, lift up from the base of the pelvis, root down, but then from the second chakra, lift upwards like a fountain of energy. Stretch out through your arms, fingers and thumbs. We could imagine, just in a playful sense, that all rivers at some level, likely, they long to meet the ocean someday. So imagine the reach of your arms. We sometimes say the heart as wide as the world. Breathe in. And then float the arms forward and up. Release your yoga strap. And once again, rest your hands over your knees. And give some attention to how the hands get heavier, warmer as the circulation returns. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. And then please put the strap aside. Rise up to standing. You can put the blankets aside and come up to your horse stance. So the feet can be as wide as your yoga mat. Bend your knees, sit into the pelvis. We are going to be swinging the arms, so just check that you have this range of motion. And what's going to happen is we swing back with fists. Think of that as making the arm a little heavier. You're swinging back with a fist. You're flying the fingers open. Breathe through the nose. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale, go up. And bend the knees. Exhale, come down like a rag doll. Relax your body so you can experience how the breath takes care of you. Reach for your strap. Press your hands to your knees and rise up to standing. Okay, now let's take that loop again. Turn the toes out. You place your wrists in your strap so it's as wide as you need it to be. Right, raise up and open. There should be no discomfort in the shoulders here, only the joy of not being the Tin Man. So, only the joy of that. Yeah. Now, with the toes pointed out slightly like horse stance, right? I'd like you to take the tailbone down and let the tailbone come slightly forward. So you are going to make it's like being a starfish for a moment, like in the ocean. Got a little bit of a back bend. I know starfish, really can't tell that they're back bending. When they're holding onto those rocks, they look like they're forward bending, but let's just pretend that the starfish can also do a little back bend. And then with an exhale, release the arms up overhead. Catch the strap in one hand and let it come down. Let your arms dangle. No need to grip the strap. It should stay loosely around your wrist. Notice your hands getting a little bit heavier. Several months ago, I shared a clip of a discussion from Dr. Gail Bradbook. She's in the UK, and she's one of the climate scientists and one of the activists with XR. And she's the one who said, the oceans are like the lungs of the planet. And this past Sunday in our climate group, we talked about water. I'll see to the recordings, making sure that they're getting placed where you can have access to them publicly, so you can go back and listen to that one. So now we're going to take the loop and make it smaller again, about shoulder width apart, please. Raise your arms up overhead. Make the feet parallel by taking the heels out. So we had our horse stance. Now take the heels to make the feet parallel. Root down through your tailbone and arc over to your left. You put your body weight into your left leg firmly. And then as you inhale, raise the toes of your right, the heel of your right foot, excuse me. Now try exhaling that. You're going to root down from your right low belly into your right heel without really shrinking the height that you got from that tippy toe moment. Let's try it again. Inhale, raise your right heel. Then exhale, root down. So from your pelvic floor to your heel is like the earth element. But this rooting is going to require you to access the deep inner belly near the second chakra. So reach up. So much like the trees, they seek the water deep down. Root from your right inner belly to your right heel. And then rise up, tone the right belly to come up. And let's go the other way. Inhale to your right. Now keeping the right leg strong, raise up high, breathe in. There's part of your reach reflex, right? And root from your left low belly down into your left heel. Inhale, rise up. It's a good reach, thank you. And exhale, root. Let's do it one more time. And try not to shrink the length that you gather by tippy-toeing. Of course, you'll lose some of it, but rise up. Catch the strap in the other hand. Lower your arms down. Notice the hands getting heavier. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. May all the obstacles be removed. May they be dissolving. If you came with obstacles today, may they have dissipated. May that continue. Now you can set the strap aside one more time, please. And let's come out to the jazz dance warm-up pose. This past Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday, I can't recall actually, but it was the weekend. We were doing some pranayama from this position. We're going to do that again here. So press out with your hands on your knees. I feel like I'm about to be your umpire or your like football teammate or something like that. But this is called the jazz dance warm-up pose because it needed a name. You can call it whatever you want. Gaze down towards the floor so your head is at an angle where your eyes are resting ahead of you. And Bhastrika. Exhale. Okay, inhale, rise up, arms up. Now feet parallel, and exhale, come down, Prasarita Padottanasana. Deeply relax. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Shift your hands to your hips, rise up to standing. Heels in, toes out. Come on down. Yeah, and now Kapalabhati, so that's through the nose. Set your gaze forward so your head is in line with your spine. Try keeping the perineum toned so the pelvic floor will have a consistent quality of tone and support. Exhale completely. Good. Inhale, rise up. Momentarily hold the inhale at the top, just like a happy yawn. And then exhale and come down. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Okay, so from this prasarita, please walk your hands forward, step your feet back. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. I'd like you to use both arms and hands strong and steady. Root down like into the earth. But for the legs, please bend your knees so that your hips go back more easily. And as you bend the knees, raise your heels up so that also you have a sense your thighs may nearly be touching your abdomen. And so when you're breathing here in this position, when the thighs are touching or nearly touching the abdomen, try to sense the breath expanding across the back of your waist, like the top of your sacrum, the back of the waist, the kidneys. And then as you exhale, press the tops of your thighs back and root your heels down. Breathe in at your own pace. Exhale, bring your knees to your chest, lift your heels high, keep the arms very steady. Inhale, press back. Root down during the exhale. Enjoy your inhalation. And then again, exhale, squeeze your knees towards your chest, raise your heels high. And once more, inhale to press back. And then walk your hands and feet towards each other and come into Uttanasana. Rest your fingertips lightly on the floor or on a couple of blocks. Raise your hands to your hips when you're ready to, and rise up to standing. And pause in mountain pose. Just notice how you're feeling with even a short physical practice so far. We're going to be stepping into Surya Namaskar. So I will recommend that you have your 2 blocks close by. You can also use them to start. And if you have your yoga strap close by, that's also going to be helpful this morning. And let's put the strap, okay, in the shoulder width position like we had. That's how you'll want it to be. Please rise up to mountain pose, Tadasana, and join your hands. So if we place the 8 limbs of yoga on the chakras, the first chakra is the Yamas. How are you doing living in community with others, in relationship with others? In relationship with the planet and the resources? How are we doing cohabitating right now? And then the second chakra, how are you caring for your own process, your path? How are you becoming the best inner citizen that you can be for yourself? Raise up through the crown of your skull, root down through your heels. When you inhale, press the palms down, turn them out, raise up. Join the palms like an arrow overhead. Hook your thumbs together. Side bend to your left. Keep the hips centered as well as you can. So you're side bending, not really side leaning. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, side bend to your right. Keeping the hips centered as well as you can. And inhale, rise up. Okay, exhale, arms wide, come forward and down. Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward through the heart. Exhale, left toes straight back. Root down and inhale to rise up. Again, if you can, hook your thumbs overhead. Make the arms and the palms like an arrow. Now when the right leg is forward and your hips, we want those to stay level. The side bend is going to go up and over to your right. And it doesn't have to be a big side bend. My hope is that you'll start feeling that in your left inner belly, iliacus, maybe the hip flexors. And then inhale, rise up. You've got your thumbs hooked together. So exhale, pull the hands down behind your head. Good. Inhale, reach back up. And now exhale, float the arms wide, come forward and down. Let's repeat from yesterday. Place your left palm on your block, your right hand on your right knee, and twist to your right. And in this twisting, you can make the right arm firm. It is a contributing force in your twist. Make the left arm stable so that inside the belly, you could imagine there is some fluidity or elasticity. Picture the exhale like squeezing a sponge. Don't make yourself breathless because you don't want to have a sense you're grasping for the inhale. With your next exhale, release this pose. Place your palms firmly on the 2 blocks. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, seal pose. Point your toes, come to the tops of your feet. Inhale, light up your seal pose. Exhale, slide forward, shoulders back, low cobra. And then inhale, high cobra. Good. Exhale, seal pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Enjoy the in-breath. We're going to float the left foot forward with the exhale. Keep your right toes strong. And then inhale, rise up to your crescent. Switch which thumb goes on the back and raise the arrow high. Okay, so with the hips staying level, make a little side bend to your left. You may notice the right low belly or the psoas, the iliacus. Keep the right butt muscles strong and your right toes grounded behind you. Yeah. And let's inhale, rise up, so straight up, and then exhale, pull the hands down behind with your thumbs hooked together. Great. Inhale, reach up. Fountain over your left leg. Take your left hand to your left knee, right hand firmly to the block, and let's twist to the left. Notice again how you maintain the structure, the outer structure of the pose, so your 2 feet, 2 hands, both legs, and then the inner experience of the breath in the belly, kind of acting like a sponge. And then when you exhale, place your left palm firmly on the block. Now inhale again to plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank pose. Undulate the spine. Exhale, seal pose. Inhale, light up your seal pose. Low cobra pose. Inhale, high cobra pose. Exhale, seal pose. Inhale, plank. Lift the kidneys and the back waist. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now exhale, 1 foot forward, 2nd foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Hook the thumbs, raise your palms like an arrow. Side bend left. Leg steady, even though the torso shifts. Inhale up, exhale right. Good. Inhale, rise, and let the arms float out. Join your hands at your heart. May even more of the obstacles be removed. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Now we're going to include the yoga strap in the sun salutation. So inhale, rise up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, glide forward. Okay, take the left toes back and your left knee down to anjaneyasana. Reach for your strap. Okay, place your wrists in here. Inhale, rise up. So in this anjaneyasana, what we're going to do is, we'll stay for a little while. Press out with your wrists against the strap during the inhale, and then exhale and pull down behind you. So your hands end up on the strap, and then you'll inhale to go back up. Okay, so you also are welcome to look up. Maybe it feels like fountaining the energy up. Moving at the pace of your breath, of course. You could picture the breath, the ocean, the lungs of the planet. One more time, inhale to go up. And exhale, reach forward. Set your yoga strap aside. Step backwards, please. Plank pose. And then downward facing dog pose. Inhale, roll forward to plank. Undulate the spine. Sacrum, lumbar spine, thoracic spine. Exhale to seal pose. Inhale, light up your seal pose. Exhale, cobra, low cobra. Inhale, high cobra. Energize your legs. And exhale, push up to seal. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Now exhale the left foot forward and touch your right knee down. Reach for your strap. And inhale, rise up. Follow your breath cycle, so you exhale to pull down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw down. The shoulder blades come down the back. Twice more, please. You can really picture, the reciprocity between you being breathed and the planet also breathing. Come forward and down with your exhale. And then inhale, step back to plank pose again. Okay, exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, roll forward like a wave in the ocean. Be specific from the sacrum to the lumbar spine, lumbar to thoracic spine, cervical spine. And then seal pose. Low cobra pose. Okay, high cobra pose. Seal pose. Plank. And downward facing dog pose. Now from this downward dog pose, please roll over your toes, touch your knees down, and take a seat in Vajrasana. You can use a block on the flat setting, or you could use it on the medium setting. Another option is to sit on 2 blocks. Rest your hands, palms face down in your lap. And making no particular effort to breathe right now. Just notice the sensing that you are being breathed by the planet, the oceans, the trees. And we can ask ourselves again, how are my yamas doing? The first of the yamas is ahimsa, means nonviolence. So how am I living? Ahimsa means non-harming. How is that going for us? And how are the niyamas at the second chakra? The first of those is called saucha, means cleanliness. Like living with a quality that's, clean. You can sense you're in your integrity. You also keep the mind and the body clean, your relationships clean. Okay, so there's a little bit of work I'd like to do now with your hip flexors and your psoas. I have my 2 blankets already folded like this. Let me ask the same of you. But you can take the 2 blankets on this long fold. We're going to use it in more ways than one. So we'll take the fold and then we don't have to keep fiddling with the fold of the blankets. So there you have this little patio of blankets. Place your blocks in front. I'm going to scooch my blankets back so that you'll still be able to see me and the camera. All right, so one shin, we'll do the left one first, is going to go on the blankets and the other foot forward like an anjaneyasana. So when you place your shin on the blanket, you can put the kneecap just past the edge of the blanket. That makes it easier for some people. And then step your right foot forward. Yeah, I'm going to back up a little bit further. I'm not very tall, but this room is also not that big, and I don't want to fall off the camera where you can see. Okay, there we go. So with the 2 blocks here, let's put the fingertips and just start to explore when you give some ease to the hips for coming forward without kind of hammocking into the right hip. So you don't want the pelvic floor to feel like, oh, we're having a holiday. You want to have some tone at the pelvic floor there. So when you ease forward, you're not just collapsing into the soft tissue of the right hip joint. Press into your fingers and thumbs and lift the inner belly right from the pubic bone. Lift in towards your sacrum. Many years ago, I used to describe as if you had this sort of ball of energy the size of a tennis ball in front of the sacrum. Like the pelvic floor toned helps to support that tennis ball of energy. But that tennis ball is actually the second chakra. So lift in and towards the sacrum, and then up towards the kidneys on the backside. Now bring your chin down as if you're going to look towards your left knee. You may not be able to see it, but as you bring your chin in, you could increase the bit of flexion that you have in the spine, even though you're also practicing a back bend. Now press firmly into all 8 fingers and both thumbs. Raise your left leg so the knee is lifted. Raise your hips, straighten your right leg. It's called Parsvottanasana. And then you can place your palms firmly and bow over your right leg. If you'll inhale and press like a cat pose, let the back body broaden. And then exhale, glide forward like a cow pose. Even you can raise the chest and heart. Inhale, fold over and broaden like cat pose. And exhale, glide the heart forward like cow pose. Once more, please. Now bend your right knee and thoughtfully step your left foot over the blanket. Place your left foot, take the right toes back. Touch your right shin down to your blankets. Come to your fingertips as you glide forward. And again, without hammocking into your left hip. So it should not feel like the pelvic floor becomes lax here. In fact, if you're not sure about that, you can think about the left sitting bone and add a little tone right behind the sitting bone. You can think of that tone as coming from the outer trochanter to the sitting bone towards the pelvic floor. You press into all 8 fingers and both thumbs and begin to gaze down. So you want to lift from the pubic bone towards the sacrum and from the inner sacrum up towards the kidneys. When the pelvic floor is toned, you have this really healthy sort of basket of support at the pelvic floor and the ilium bones. And in that basket, sometimes I call it the pelvic basin, you have this water element. So as you're lifting from the pelvic floor up to the second chakra, bring that lift into the back of the sacrum, the back of your waist. And curl the right toes under. Lengthen your right leg behind you. Glide your hips back. Shift to your palms on the blocks. Now, as we bow over the left leg, I want you to press down into your hands and make it like a cat pose spine for a moment. The back of the body more broad. And then exhale, glide forward through your heart like cow pose. Lengthen your thoracic spine forward. And inhale again like a cat pose. The hips don't wander side to side here. Exhale, glide forward. So the legs can act like riverbanks right now. The hips are not going side to side. And the torso can be like the undulating movement of the river inside the healthy riverbanks. As I said before, I imagine that all rivers at some level long to meet the ocean someday. One more time, exhale to glide forward. Now bend your left knee a little bit and step your right foot forward to meet your left foot. Press down into both feet, rise up to standing. And notice what's going from the pelvis down the legs. Like, what is it like now in that direction? You may have a sense of that heaviness of the hands now being something that happens in the legs, from the inner belly and the pelvis down to your feet, your toes. Okay, now watch for a moment. So we're going to take the left shin back to the blankets again. This time the two blocks will go on the inside, and you scoot your foot out as necessary. So I'm going to put both of my elbows on the blocks to come down, and then there's going to be a transition where you'll put one arm across the blocks, one hand on the knee, and we'll be twisting. And then we will come back.
Can you clarify?
We'll find our way to come back up and so on. Okay, so please put your right foot forward, left shin back on the blankets, and start with the two hands on the blocks in the center. Now, some of you are going to find that when you put your right foot out to the side, you want your blocks to be a little bit of a counterbalance to the left, and that is fine. Ease the hips forward. Hello, hip flexors. So this sort of upright position, you can think again of the pubic bone, this tennis ball that I talked about, the inner belly, the sacrum, the kidneys. And then come down onto your left elbow, right elbow. Invite the hips to be easeful, but not lax. And take your right hand over to your right knee and twist to your right. I expect that the twist lights up a different part of your hip flexors on the left leg. And we're going to exhale, roll to center, right palm, left palm, heart forward. Now tuck the left toes under, straighten your left leg, straighten your right leg. While we're here, walk the block under your right hand, directly under your right shoulder. Pivot your left heel and rise to triangle pose. Reach your left arm past your left ear. We are going to change sides. So pivot the left heel up. Set up your block so you can change. Maybe the right toes back, left toes forward, or you can step forward to change sides. 2 blocks on the inside. Walk your left foot out and glide your hips forward. Again, hello to your hip flexors. Mine too. As you come forward here, allow the hips to be easeful but not lax. And then bring your right forearm down, left forearm down. When you're ready to, place your left hand on your left knee and add a little twist to the left. And that may again change where you feel the movement across your right hip flexors. And then left palm firmly down, right palm firmly down. Lengthen your right leg. And while we're here, let's glide the block back under the left shoulder directly and open to triangle pose. Pivot your right heel to the floor. And reach your right arm past your right ear. I hope you no longer feel like the Tin Man if you woke up that way. Pick up your back heel, bend your front knee, and let's step the left shin back so that you are on the blankets with the knees elevated and the feet are on the floor behind you. And then the blocks, you can use 1, you can use 2, you can use 5 blocks if you want to. The idea is to have support for your head as you keep the hips on the heels in child's pose. And relax the deep inner belly. May the obstacles that present themselves to you, obstacles to living in your yamas and niyamas, may those be released. May you not be suffering with the obstacles. Please place your hands, rise up to your kneeling. I'm going to ask you to do one thing here. If you'll keep the blankets stacked like this, and just momentarily we're going to back bend before Shavasana. So if you turn about, place the upper back over the 2 blankets. Of course, if your body needs you to have another blanket for the head or a block for your head, by all means do that. Otherwise, come over your blankets. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. May the obstacles also be removed from the heart. As you feel your mind and your body settling a bit, and maybe coming back home to that sense of the lungs and the ocean. It's really important to have a healthy, nourishing Shavasana. So I'm going to ask you to roll to your side, rise up, And then come down to your Shavasana pose. And for your Shavasana, lie really still, like a starfish resting in the ocean. And as you're resting in this way, let your mind and your body together come back home to the heart. Let yourself lie really still so the body becomes like the river banks, the river of prana in this case, flowing through. Again, let the body be very still, the mind as well. The energy, the river moving through you. Allow your practice to soak in even more deeply now. May all of the obstacles be removed. Now, keeping your mind as still as possible, let the breath lightly return, coming in, going out. And you may wiggle your fingers and your toes. And please make a thoughtful transition to come back up to sitting. Yes. Rise up to sit so we can have a few minutes of meditation together, please. And rest your hands in your lap. Let your eyes close. Welcome your mind to be deeply still, like deep waters, the obstacles removed. Placing your attention in the centers of your palms, a place where you can set your intention for this day. How will you live the Yamas, the Niyamas, in relationship to the earth and the water, to your fellow humans? As you inhale, raise that intention up to your heart. Place it there in your heart. You could sing with me 3 times. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. Om Gan Ganapati Namaha. And then place that in your palms in Anjali Mudra. And bow your head to your heart. And then placing it back in your heart. And we make this as an offering to each other. So also receiving the offering from others, giving, as we say, and also receiving. Place that back in your heart. And down. So your intention is made whole. We have a pinky swear. Thank you for being here. Thank you. There's a little ruckus with the kittens. You might have heard a couple of booms and bangs that were just happening from them. I will come up to say hi to you.